low wages, high costs, inside NFL cheerleader pay. America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders uncovers the cheerleaders' struggles with low pay despite their high-profile roles. Former cheerleader Catherine Puryear pulls no punches about the financial realities of being part of the iconic squad in the premiere episode of Netflix's new docuseries America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Comparing her earnings to those of a full-time Chick-fil-A worker, Puryear highlights the disparity between the demanding schedule and modest pay that many cheerleaders face. Tina Kalina, a former cheerleader herself and mother to current squad member Victoria Kalina, echoes these sentiments. Recalling her own experience dancing for the team in the 80s, Kalina reveals earning just $35 per game, which she often saw as a donation rather than payment. The Netflix series delves into various aspects of the cheerleaders' lives, but one of its most startling revelations is the financial struggle despite the glamour associated with the Dallas Cowboys brand. Viewers, increasingly vocal online, question why such a profitable organization pays its cheerleaders so little. Amy Deal, a researcher on gender bias, took to social media to criticize the disparity. The Dallas Cowboys justify paying cheerleaders poorly because it's a privilege. Yet, players earn millions annually. Responding to the backlash, Charlotte Jones, Dallas Cowboys executive vice president, acknowledged the criticism on the show. There's cynicism around cheerleader pay, she admits, noting their passion for dance often outweighs monetary compensation. Explaining the pay structure for Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Catherine Puryear breaks it down in a TikTok video. She mentions cheerleaders receive a fixed fee for each game, along with an hourly wage for game days that can stretch up to 11 hours, a commitment she describes as pretty nice. Practices, she adds, are also compensated on an hourly basis. Puryear goes on to discuss appearances at local events, which earn cheerleaders a flat fee plus an hourly rate. Notably, these rates vary based on how long a cheerleader has been with the team, capping at 5 years. In your 5th year, you make more money due to your tenure, Puryear explains in the video, highlighting the voluntary nature of appearances. Explaining the pay structure for Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Catherine Puryear breaks it down in a TikTok video. She mentions cheerleaders receive a fixed fee for each game, along with an hourly wage for game days that can stretch up to 11 hours, a commitment she describes as pretty nice. Practices, she adds, are also compensated on an hourly basis. Puryear goes on to discuss appearances at local events, which earn cheerleaders a flat fee plus an hourly rate. Notably, these rates vary based on how long a cheerleader has been with the team, capping at 5 years. In your 5th year, you make more money due to your tenure, Puryear explains in the video, highlighting the voluntary nature of appearances. 2. Why Terrence Steele is a big key for the Cowboys' OL in 2024. Most of the attention on the offensive line this offseason has been on the new starters at left tackle and center. But the real focus should be on right tackle, Terrence Steele. Tyler Guyton, the Cowboys' first-round pick in April, is expected to be the starting left tackle. As for the starting center, it could be third-round pick, Cooper Beebe. Cowboys draft new starting center Cooper Beebe with 73rd pick. Or, Beebe could start out as a backup center and guard with third-year veteran Brock Hoffman starting at center. Training camp will sort all that out. But that isn't the most important area of concern on this line. Because Steele will play the biggest role in which 5 players start on the line at the beginning and at the end of the 2024 season. An undrafted free agent. In 2020, Steele went undrafted out of Texas Tech. Dallas cinched him to a 3-year deal for just under $2.3 million. Over his first 3 seasons, he seemed to have been a steal, pardon the pun. He was an instant starter on the line opposite Tyron Smith. He missed just 1 game out of his first 46 games during his first 3 seasons. Terrence Steele. He even caught a touchdown pass in a 56-14 rout over Washington at AT&T Stadium on December 26, 2021. the Cowboys appeared to have their right tackle for the future. Knee injury sidelined Steele. Then came a Week 14 game against the Houston Texans on December 11, 2022, at AT&T Stadium. Steele was rolled up on from behind during the second quarter. He suffered a torn ACL on the play that ended his season. Steele returned to the field last year as the starting right tackle for the Cowboys. And he did so with a massive contract extension that some questioned given his injury. Steele signed a 5-year, $82.5 million contract. He made a little over $4 million in 2023. But he struggled at times, clearly not 100% back from the injury. However, he did play the most snaps in a season in his career, 1,177 on offense and another 85 on special teams. So while not at his very best, he was out there playing. He'll have one more off-season of recovery and preparation under his belt when he arrives in Oxnard at the end of the month. Steele is set to make $11 million this year and $17 million in 2025. If he returns to pre-injury form, it will help cover for any growing pains that potentially having two rookies starting will bring. It will also validate the contract he signed. If not? If Steele falters. If Steele's play does not improve, or if he regresses, it will force a major shakeup on the line. The most likely result would be moving Tyler Smith to right tackle from left guard. 1. Some pictures and videos from the offseason seem to bear out that Steele is in good shape. He also looks like he's working to shore up where he struggled last year. In 2023, then center Tyler Baiadas also had his struggles in both pass protection and run blocking. This forced Martin to look inside in case he needed to help. That left Steele by himself on an island. Hopefully, he won't need the help in 2024, but he's more likely to get it from Martin this year if Beebe or Hoffman elevate the center play. Also, with the rookie at left tackle, opposing teams are going to attack him with their best pass rushers. Last year, Steele drew those players. As long as he's 100% physically, he should have a much better year. The Cowboys' hopes for 2024 may just be riding on it. Dak Prescott issued warning about possibly leaving Cowboys. With Prescott on the verge of entering the final year of his deal with the Cowboys, there's speculation regarding whether the three-time Pro Bowl quarterback will leave the Cowboys next offseason. While Prescott will have no shortage of suitors in free agency if he chooses to go that route, former head coach Herm Edwards warned the 2023 MVP runner-up of thinking twice when it comes to leaving Dallas. While appearing ESPN's First Take on Wednesday, July 3, the 70-year-old former coach argued that Prescott would not upgrade teams if he decided to leave the Cowboys. "You're not going to play for a better team," Edwards said. Who challenges him? The Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, San Francisco 49ers, that's who they got to deal with. That's who Dak has to deal with to get to the Super Bowl. And that's what he understands. If you understand that and say, well, hey, I got the best team I can play on right now. I go somewhere else, I got to start over. Why Dak Prescott should consider staying with Cowboys. Edwards makes a fair point, considering the NFC is stacked. All of the aforementioned teams already have franchise quarterbacks in Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Jordan Love and Brock Purdy. To make matters worse, the AFC, which is seen as the stronger conference, already have teams with franchise quarterbacks locked in on long-term contracts such as Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. That's not even mentioning fringe contenders such as the Atlanta Falcons already having signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $180 million contract in the offseason. Why Dak Prescott should earn big money deal if he leaves Cowboys. There's little doubt that Prescott could sign a big contract that mirrors, if not exceeds, the one Cousins signed this offseason. considering Prescott is coming off of the best season of his career and is actually 5 years younger than Cousins. Without coming off of an injury, he could very well earn at least $50 million per year on his next deal. According to Spotrac, Prescott's projected market value is $53.1 million per season across 4 years for a total of over $212 million. That would make Prescott the third highest paid quarterback on an average annual basis in the NFL. However, he'd likely land with a far less talented team than the one he currently plays on. Although Edwards is a fan of Prescott, he does make sure to mention his lack of playoff success with such a talented supporting cast. The Cowboys had the second most Pro Bowlers, 7, last season. "I'm a Dak Prescott fan," Edwards said. "But when you've only won 2 playoff games, when you've only won 2 in your whole career with a team that is stacked, offensively and defensively, he's in the best situation he could be in." It remains to be seen whether or not the Cowboys are able to lock in Prescott to a long-term deal. However, the two sides have been in communication regarding a new deal. If Prescott does decide to leave Dallas, he needs to be prepared for the likely possibility that he'll be playing for a less talented team.